All right, let's focus now on Assam and more violence in Kokrajhar. Overnight, one person was killed and 5 people injured. There has been violence reported from 2 other areas in the district where 3 people were injured in an attack. On Saturday, 5 people were killed when they were returning home from a relief camp in the Chirang district. The All Minority Students Union has called for a bandh today.
बोडो हो या मुस्लिम हो, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर के बारे में हम कुछ कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं करेंगे। जो दोषी है उसको अरेस्ट करेंगे, यही बताया है हमने। तो लेकिन सबसे बड़ी बात है कि सब मिलके अभी पीस वहां निर्माण करो, पहला शांतता निर्माण करो और अपने अपने घर पे जाने दो जो लोग वहां कैंप में बैठे हैं, यही मैं उनको बताया।
Well, let's go across to Kishle, who joins us from Kokrajhar. Kishle, more violence and now 1 person being killed, 5 injured in firing. And this, of course, is the big challenge, as we've been reporting, for the administration to give a sense of security to people as they return home from relief camps.
Well, I don't think so. The government will be able to give any sense of security unless they disarm people. You know, we've been going on telling about this fact that there are at least 3 groups operating in the Boroland area who possess arms, and one of them is an underground group, one of them is on a ceasefire with the government, and the other is part of the government. They are surrendered militants, but they do possess weapons. And I think this disarming is going to be the first step towards providing security or instilling any kind of confidence to people in the relief camp. There are still 2.39 lakh people in the relief camp. I'm told by some of the district commissioners that some people who had gone back to the homes are actually returning because the situation on Saturday, which in Chirang, where people were actually going back home from the relief camp and they got ambushed and they were killed. And they were not killed by civilians. They were killed by trained people who handle arms. Last night too, and this was unprovoked, in Kokrajhar, where I am right now, there have been 4 incidents of firing in Patrikal, in Bhumki, in Salakati. In Bhumki and Salakati is the place where 1 person was killed, and Patrikal 4 persons were injured. In Tupiamari, Gosaiga, 1 was injured, and Chitkhila, Fakiragram, another place where there was no casualty, but there was firing, and the firing took place with automatic weapons because the bullets were recovered. So that needs to be really addressed, and I'm not very sure whether the Home Minister in the centre or in the state, who the Chief Minister, the Home Minister, is actually addressing this problem, because they know that they have a coalition partner in the state, the BPF, who are in charge out here, and they have to be actually reined in. We had gone to the Saturday afternoon's site in Amguri, which is along Indo-Bhutan border yesterday, and this is the report that we filed from there, which also actually provides enough evidence that militants are behind this violence. Curfew Chirang. Nobody in sight except security forces patrolling the streets. The blood hasn't dried yet on the road to Malipara, where 5 people were killed on Saturday afternoon. 1 person is missing. 2 more apparently were there in that vehicle that they were traveling. It was exactly on this spot. And these people from the CRPF were the first one to have arrived out here. And what they tell me is that it was a premeditated attack, not by civilians, but by people who have handled arms. This CRPF officer had just left the spot, and within minutes the attackers ambushed the vehicle carrying the people back from the relief camp. The Chief Minister has now sent emissaries to broker peace. 6 senior cabinet ministers are touring the area.
These incidences arise solely because of trust deficit, is nothing else. So our biggest challenge today is to bring back trust.
Is it helping?
As you know, the social fabric here is very fragile, and then a very fine equilibrium has to be established. So that is what we are trying.
In the last 1 month is the first time that the government has sent its representatives to Amguri relief camp. The relief inmates now have blocked our way, not letting the government ministers pass by unless they give a commitment to ensure their security. A mother mourning her son's death. Another lost both her sons. Condolences may not be enough to heal this. around 4,500 inmates at the Amguri relief camp. This is along Indo-Bhutan border, and it's from here that on Saturday evening, those 5 people had gone to their homes, and when they were killed, it's going to be very difficult for the government to actually convince people to move out of relief camps, go back to their villages.
23 companies of security forces on ground in Chirang, 3 columns of army engaged in operations. But authorities say any amount of forces will be inadequate to protect 5 lakh people residing in the district. There is fear on both sides of the divide, and news of renewed violence only reinforces the fear.
जों बिदिनो बांगाल बर' ज' लगाय लथाय संसार जानायमोन दा नैबे बर' गन्दगलावसो जों बांगाल बर' गन्दगलावसो बिदिनो गोदाव सोराव थानांदों जोंनाव सिकिउरिटि गैया जेबो गैया जों दा न'आव थांनोनो हाया आरो उसुबिदा जानानै दं जोंहा दा.
Compared to the agitated previous camp, this camp seems to be much more calm. But the misery of being homeless in their own land is something that both sides are victims of.
With camera person Sanjay in Chirang, Kishalai Bhattacharjee for NDTV.
Well, you know, the dangerous polarization, Gargi, that has also happened is that yesterday, you know, Bajrang Dal, which doesn't actually have a presence in Assam, had given a statewide bandh, and it was actually observed. And today we have the All Minority Students Union, which has called a bandh. In Kokrajhar, we don't see the bandh being observed really in Kokrajhar town, but across the state, I'm told, in the North Bank of the Brahmaputra, the bandh is being observed, and that polarization is going to be very dangerous to really come towards any reconciliation of this conflict which has been going on for the last 5 weeks. Gargi?
All right, Kishle, thanks so much for joining us with that, and do take care.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.